What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another crypto live stream. Just put out our update video for this morning in terms of top headlines, what's going on in the overall market. So definitely check that out if you haven't already, get you up to speed on what's going on. So wanted to kind of reiterate some of the things that are happening right now in the market. And then at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by Dominic from ALVA. They've got some really interesting updates. This is a team that I've been working with for quite some time. We'll get into it. Their BSKT Lab just went live. This is pretty awesome for all retail investors. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. Dominic will be joining me pretty soon. And yeah, then this will run right into 9:30 where we do our Crypto Breakfast Club. So we'll probably just keep it live right here for the Crypto Breakfast Club too, after Dominic comes out and hangs out with us for a little bit as well. And we'll just roll this thing right along here this morning. But we do have some big updates to talk about. And, you know, some big top events here in the last 24 hours in terms of what's happening. Coinbase is getting ready to list BNB for trading. And this is pretty shocking, to be honest, because we've kind of got, you know, an East versus West kind of thing happening right now. There's a lot of people who are pissed off at Binance, think they were, you know, the sole reason as to what happened with the liquidation event on Friday. Then other people are basically all in on BNB and all in on CZ. And it's interesting because there's people coming out of the woodwork now that, you know, all of a sudden, you know, oh my God, Aster is the best thing, you know, ever, and CZ's the best guy ever. And I just never get caught up in all of that, right? I'm not going to jump ship, you know, just to the next thing. People who jumped into all them BNB meme coins got absolutely wrecked. Now, does that mean the BNB meme coin scene is over? No. Do I think there could be some winners here still? Yes. And if you got in and got out at the right time on those BNB meme coins before the big collapse, you did well. You did okay. I definitely think there's some things brewing on BNB. Am I invested in Aster? Hell yeah. I bought a good amount at 60 cents. I've done really, really well on that trade. I'm just not one to, you know, fully dive in and go all in on something, you know, at any moment, really, at any moment. It's just not my style. It's just not my way of doing things. But there's definitely, you know, kind of this, you know, Binance versus the world kind of thing happening right now. Binance versus Coinbase happening. But then Coinbase goes and lists BNB, which is kind of interesting, kind of fascinating. By the way, guys, drop your comments in here, questions. Love hearing from you guys. Let me know you guys are in the building. If you guys are here, share the stream on X if you're watching from over there. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button. Let us know you're here. Let me know where you're coming in from. What's on your mind today? Always love hearing from you guys. But that was kind of a big headline, you know, the fact that Coinbase is going to list BNB now. And it's expanding beyond just wallet support as BNB has been setting new all-time highs. Again, I'm not getting caught up in this, you know, East versus West thing, BNB versus Coinbase. Listen, what happened Friday was very interesting. Let's just say that. It was very interesting. Do I think everybody's squeaky clean here? No. Do I think Binance probably took advantage of an opportunity with the news and everything? Do I think people were over leveraged? Yeah. Do I think they wanted to wipe some of those people out to clean the slate, you know, for institutions to buy back in with no sell pressure? Yeah. Think about it, guys. Everybody was trading perps. Everybody was over leveraged. The institutions didn't want to run it up and let all those people win. They wanted to crash the markets to basically reset things, I think, for the final big leg up. That's what I think's happening. I think they wanted to crash everything and reset it. And now, you know, you got Binance giving back whatever it is, you know, $400 million to some of their top traders who got liquidated. Guys, they made billions and billions and billions. They're giving back, you know, a $20 bill that they found in their pocket after it came out of the washing machine. That's what's happening. And I'm just being real. And that's what you're going to get when you guys come here. I'm just keeping it real, keeping it 100. All right. And listen, I don't have anything bad to say about, you know, anybody in particular. I just think these big, you know, huge exchanges, they work alongside the market makers to do what they want with the market. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody. So I'm not going to put any of these people or exchanges on a pedestal. Just not going to do it. I'll invest. I'll find opportunities, but I'm not going to go all in and call myself now like a BNB meme coin guy, or I'm all Aster. I don't trade meme coins anymore just because of a flashing moment. People just sell their souls, based on one little thing or whatever. It kind of boggles my mind, to be honest. I just don't go there. I just don't go there. You got to keep it real in this space, and the space changes so fast. What's hot today is not going to be hot tomorrow. Now, could we be in an era where the perpetual DEX stuff does well? Yeah, 100%. Could we be in an era where BNB is performing well and you can make money over there? Yeah, 100%. Will it last forever? No, there will be a rotation of capital, and you got to follow the next thing. And that's what's happening in crypto right now. We're seeing waves of different altcoins and different sectors move at different times. I mean, if you weren't paying attention, you completely missed Zcash, right? I mean, look what Zcash has done over the last month. It's insane. It's up 360%. And if you weren't paying attention, you missed it, right? I mean, you missed the wave. Look what happened to BitTenz Tau. When this thing dipped down on Friday, down to, 250, if you weren't paying attention and you didn't catch this, come up when it was starting to rise, you missed the boat. But you know what? You keep it moving, and it is what it is. But I really like, BitTenz. I've been saying that ever since it was $300 before the crash. So, you just can't go all in on any type of thing at any moment. The minute you do that, you're not setting yourself up to have long-term success. You got to be nimble in this space. And when you follow the narratives, it doesn't mean you have to be then like, a servant to Binance or a servant to Aster or a servant to CZ or whatever. Or I see these people that only talk about the base chain or only talk about crypto.com. I'm not here for that. Do I like crypto.com? Do I like base? Do I see opportunity in all these areas? Yeah. You've got to be unbiased. You got to be unbiased in this game if you want to do well right now. You can't just be, stuck in your ways and be all in on this one thing or all in on this one guy or all in on this one asset. I mean, I get it from the KOL standpoint. I'm a content creator, right? But, I don't sit there and just go all in on one thing and then, that's my thing. When I started content creation, SHIB was hot. Dogecoin was hot. That's what I was investing in. I was trying to figure out the market. But if I was still creating Shiba Inu videos every single day till the cows come home here in 2025, I wouldn't be doing anything. You got to pivot. You got to see where things are going. And you got to be nimble and be able to adapt in this market, man. That's just what it comes down to. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you guys share the stream if you haven't already. I see a bunch of people, here with us already. Welcome in. Good morning to you. Good evening, depending on where you are. It's morning for me. Getting ready for market open. About a half hour away from market open. We'll see what happens. What kind of questions do you have in the chat? Let's see what we got. Good morning, Zach. What's your opinion on Crow? I still like it, man. I still like it, but, it's just not the season for it. But we're going to get into a conversation here with Dominic from ALVA, guys. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Appreciate you all. And let's bring in Dominic here right now. What's going on, man?
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Great, man. Great. It's been a while, man. What's been happening?
Oh, I'm in the kingdom, Saudi Arabia right now, but just went live on mainnet and been a long slog. But yeah, we're finally there. Public access. Anyone can go onto the platform. Anyone can partake. Set up a 761, run their own basket, and yeah, access everything they want. You got it there.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit about this. I know we've been waiting for this for a while. I remember right when you guys, came out the gate, I was really interested in this whole concept, the whole idea. Now it's finally, coming to fruition for you guys.
Yeah, the concept is built around, firstly, we offered a token standard, ERC 7621. That work was basically a decentralized asset management vehicle on chain. So absolutely anybody can come onto the platform, mint a 7621, manage a 7621, earn fees from doing so. And the way the 7621 is built is that, like when you add to Uniswap V2, you get ERC20 representation of that liquidity. And the same thing works with the 7621, which means that if you are a manager, you know exactly who your contributors are, and therefore you can build a whole business around your basket. So you can mint a fund, manage a fund, and even in the future sell the rights to the fund all on one platform. So it's allowing absolutely anybody to manage a fund, no glass ceiling. When I was in traditional finance, I got a role on what was supposed to be my gap year before university, due to study sociology in Bristol. And this stockbroker's role, I got 250 cold calls a day, commission only. Absolutely loved it. Just proper, fast-paced. My ADHD was tuned in. But so I took my Chartered Institute Securities and Investments exams and didn't go on to university. But then when I was applying for JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, investment banks, and I clicked the box I didn't have a degree, I would get automatically filtered out, not even getting to the interview stage. And that really annoyed me because I had 10 years of experience from these graduates they were hiring straight out of university with nothing but theory. And so we solved this, where your merit alone is enough in order to get you seen, an actual meritocracy where your performance is what speaks for you, not a piece of paper saying you drank beer for 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to take the audience through kind of the process of this and kind of what it looks like, what's in it for them. So essentially they can create and mint their own basket in probably a few minutes, right? Pretty easy, simple. I mean, and then once you, go ahead.
Basically, you go onto the homepage, click mint a basket. If you click on the ALVA logo on the top left, and then scroll down, or click on the BSKT Lab to the right-hand side of the logo.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, okay. And basically, you add an image. It can be whatever you want. It could be your own logo. If you want to create an official sort of business, or it could be a list of what the actual basket's looking to hold. Add a description. You'll be able to connect up sort of social medias as well. Name it, create your ticker, and then on the next page, you literally just paste in the contact addresses that you want, put in a minimum of 0.1 ETH, click mint, and it will automatically purchase everything that you have weighted. And so it is actually 100% asset backed. All of the transactions happen within the 7621, which means that effectively every single 7621 is equivalent to like a spot Bitcoin or spot Ethereum ETF. So if you have a community, whether you are, KOL or institution, whether you're VC, the actual buying power actually goes through the DEX liquidity. So it's not just a representation of these tokens. You can actually get real buying pressure into the tokens that you already hold. So I often say this to VCs, like super low hanging fruit. But let's say that you're Animoca Brands and you've got the Sandbox, Mockaverse as your well-known ones. You can have that as your all-star 7621. Now, every VC, 90% of what they invest in fails. That's the nature of venture capital. Of that 90%, in crypto in particular, half of those are still trying, still have a good product, but because the market doesn't actually value good products, as you can see by what does well and what doesn't, they're still pushing, they're still trying to get exposure, but everyone wants to buy low and sell high until it's time to buy low. And unfortunately, green candles seems to be what spurs activity. You'd think it would be buying cheap, but it's not. And so if you're a VC and half of your portfolio is underwater, but you still trust the team, you still trust the product, you can create more value 761. And you can actually get real buy pressure to your portfolio companies, which you yourself are probably down on from your investment, but you still believe in the team and the product. And to me, that's something very, very obvious that a VC could and would do, because it costs them nothing. In fact, they earn fees for doing so. and they actually get to give exposure to their portfolio and perhaps even recover their original investment. Same thing for a full channel owner. A lot of people get a lot of grief because they recommend something, and even though people see it, they make the decision whether to buy or sell it. Let's say that they see it 1 minute later, they're very happy because they got in at a good price. They see it 3 hours later, they make the decision knowing they saw it 3 hours late. They buy the very top. They give the person who pulled it grief for the next 3 years. With a 7621, every single holder and contributor gets in at the exact same price. So there's no longer any complaints about, well, I bought the top because 3 hours later everyone had already bought it. The objection to that is, well, if you were in the 7621, you would have gotten the exact same price as all of my other community members purely from contributing to that. So not only do they actually get in at the same price as the owner, but anybody who complains afterwards, the very, very easy rejection is, well, contribute to the 7621. Then you won't be buying after me in the community, you'll be buying at the exact same time. So there's a lot of angles to this beyond just people sort of managing assets, where you can actually apply it to solve real problems that a lot of people experience in crypto, which is, people like to recommend bags for people, whether they do so badly just to sort of get out, or whether they do so out of genuine, belief. And unfortunately, that sort of taints it. It makes people not want to recommend stuff to people because they end up getting burned if it doesn't go well, even though we are all adults. We are all capable of making the decision to buy or sell. We should also be capable of knowing we didn't have to. But unfortunately, in crypto, it doesn't work like that. And so this way, everybody has the same price, the same execution, and the complaints simply are, well, next time, contribute to the 7621, you won't buy after us. Seems simple, but trying to get this message across to people is harder than you think.
Yeah, man, this is such a cool idea. I mean, it goes into so many different areas in terms of, giving the power back to the people. It gets into this, this idea where essentially you can create your own ETF and monetize it. You don't have to be like one of the big players anymore. You don't have to, be a billionaire, a trillionaire, or, have all the access that these people have. So I think another aspect that's pretty cool is that you can basically compete then on the leaderboard. And if your basket's being bought more so than other baskets, you're actually earning rewards. So you're reaping the benefits of you creating something that is valuable, that people like. And obviously, if people see the benefit there, which is portfolio looks good, they're going to continue to come back and access that. I think it's an awesome idea. What kind of got you thinking about this, Dominic? Like what kind of sparked the idea for this?
Well, yeah, it was purely knowing. I think the world would be an incredibly better place if everybody just learned how to take responsibility for themselves. Every complaint in the world, it seems, goes back to the Gandhi quote, "Be the change that you wish to see." If you don't like something, if you feel something is unjust, then build a better solution. Whether that be, me basically annoyed at the fact people were discounting me in traditional finance because I decided 4 years of experience as a professional trader would be better for me than 4 years, studying sociology and drinking beer. And that, meant that I couldn't get into top institutions. And so that annoyed me. And so I thought, okay, how can I solve this? How can I make this better? And how can I create it so that people's merits are what is judged? Because at the end of the day, with ALVA, it doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, where you're from. If you have the top performance, you will rank at the top of the leaderboard, whether you are some random retail participant who's just minted one of these for fun, or whether you are one of the largest institutions in the world. It doesn't matter. The performance speaks for itself, and that's how it should be. It shouldn't be about professional qualification. Now, they hold some weight, sure. Like, they can be important in terms of, okay, this person has spent 10 years getting a doctorate. They're obviously committed to knowing a lot about this subject. Now, can those people run a good business? Some, maybe. Others, absolutely not. They are hugely autistic in the wrong way because they're super interested in one subject, and that is what their skill is. It's analytical. It's not entrepreneurial. And so there is just this mismatch where people believe that qualifications translates 100% of the time to better monetary and financial outcomes. And I think that that's not true. I'm a firm believer that, yes, it's helpful. It is a good guide, but does it win 100% of the time? Absolutely not. And I would also argue, I see it all the time. Whenever you look at these like VC-backed chains like Story Protocol or all of these others that basically scam the whole market, it is always these ex-Stanford, ex-Harvard, old money, just rinse and repeat. They know the game, they take people's money, and then they leave. Because for them, like, what is failure? Failure is still living better than 99% of other people in this world. And therefore, when things get tough, what do? They throw in the towel extremely quickly because it's not so bad to go and live back at the parents in whatever estate or home. Or they just extract and they leave because personal hardships, suffering, builds character. And I believe that if everybody just took a bit more responsibility and people were a bit more sensible and took that into consideration, you know, the world would be a better place, which is that, unfortunately, you know, we are at that stage of the cycle where crime is being rewarded. And people know this. People have whole thesis, like all of these hype chasers, you know, all of these perp dexes launching. Like, come on. Like, how many of them, it's just chasing this trend because they know people are giving money for this. And just, yeah, we seem to fall for it every time, especially in crypto. And then if you build something innovative, you know, often everyone loves innovation, but only after someone tells them it's innovative. Try and find a VC that was focusing on AI before 2020. Try and find like a you know, VC that was actually focusing on blockchain in 2013, 2015. You know, they'll start in 2017 or 2021. And so, yeah, there's a lot of, it's a good thing and bad thing about the crypto industry. For people with experience and who have an entrepreneurial mindset, it's great because it's like inventing stuff in the times of the Neanderthals. If it's better than fire and a wheel, my God, it's brilliant. All you need to do, you know, if you are confident that you can do an above average job, then you should start whatever it is that you are starting. Because trust me, the bar is so low. Any average would be brilliant. I wish that there was like average protocols that would be, you know, competing. But this is the problem, is we keep rewarding utter shit. Yeah. And it seems that stuff is, you know, I mean, I'm not a sort of meme coin hater. I see cultural value a lot. I was going to study sociology. Like I say, you know, I know that societies and cultures are built around values, principles, and that can apply to many, many things. What I don't like is this extractive, raising tons of money from VCs. And a lot of the time, I think people blame the VCs, but a lot of them just like get scammed as well. And then they list at this stupid value and never recover. And then they just literally move on to the next. You should, like, have you seen the amount of people leaving like the Optimism Foundation recently? Literally everyone is abandoning that ship. And I bet you anything, Yeah. Like literally, if you type, I don't know if it will come up, but if you type in like left at OP Labs Foundation, honestly, literally just, what's the term that they use? Like rats leaving a sinking ship. But so many, OP Labs, get rid of the space between OP and Labs. I think that said actual like account, as in OP at OP Labs.
Gotcha. At OP Lab.
OP Labs PBC. If you just search that account on the like popular page, it should have. Oh yeah, they won't retweet the people leaving. That's the thing.
They're only retweeting the people coming in, or the
exactly. If you just search by the actual like tag, then it should bring up a lot. But I've seen so many running, and I bet you anything, if you were to look at like the team vesting schedule, funnily enough, they're hiring. I wonder why. Whenever I spot someone leaving OP Labs, but if you look at the team vesting, I bet you anything that it ended. And so, huge amounts of people, and they just go on to the next. Like they join Stable, they join Plasma, they join, all of these new chains, and they just hire them. And once again, a couple of years' time, they'll leave. Even now, you're seeing some of these like chains go to market where the founders sell the team supply to a digital asset treasury vehicle, basically, so that they can exit before they even launch. It's a joke. And so everything that I've ever built is just about trying to build a better and fairer system. It's not always going to work with anyone. Whenever you're designing any sort of economy, there's always trade-offs. If it's not attractive for private investors, then you won't get some VC money in order to build it. If it's not attractive for public, then no one's going to buy it at launch and it goes down. It's always, the squeezed middle. It needs to be okay for everybody. It's not always going to be the best for everybody, but it just needs to be on that line. And so just trying to create equitable outcomes is just, why we do this.
Yeah, Dominic, I want to ask you, because you brought something up that was interesting, in terms of just what people are attracted to still in the market. It feels like we're still in this hype phase of crypto. And it's funny because crypto's been here for a decent amount of time. But do you think, over time, and maybe the better question is, when do you think, retail will start getting smarter and finding different assets and different, companies that are doing what you're doing, being innovative, filling a gap, solving a problem? Where are we on that timeline? And it feels like it sometimes comes and goes, but people always kind of flock back to, as you put it, shit. And, that's fine. It is what it is. And I think there's some value with all the meme coin stuff, but we've seen it. How many people have jumped ship from the Solana trenches over to Chase BNB and then they got rinsed? We had the big crash on Friday. Now, some people, the very select few, might have got in and got out at the right time. The KOLs that are pushing those sort of things, they don't have any cost basis in this stuff a lot of times. So, they're not losing. And listen, I've worked with great meme coin projects, but I've also got duped. It's a crazy, crazy space. So how do we get people to at least see that for what it is and allocate into actual protocols and companies that are solving real world problems? Sure, you want to go play in the casino, just know what it is and allocate a small amount so people don't get rinsed. How many people got wiped out with the Trump meme coin and all this stuff, right? Saying a lot here, but I think you know where I'm coming from. Like, how do we solve this?
The problem is that there needs to be a breakout of what has become a completely negative fulfilling cycle. For example, after the Mantra team, exit scammed and sold OTC and it crashed 90%, right? The day after that, when it was getting tons and tons of volume because it was a scam, HTX announced a spot listing Free listing because it's getting volume, because it's a scam. Meanwhile, I know projects that have paid $500,000 for a HTX listing, and they've just delisted them without even telling them. And so this is the problem, is constantly negative behavior is rewarded. And it's not just rewarded by individuals coming in and buying it. The individuals and the retail are the poor ones who actually don't realize that what they're getting into is bad. But where you have actual institutions basically rewarding this behavior, like you instantly saw every exchange that didn't have mantra listed for perps, listed it for perps, or listed it for spot. And, you know, these cost hundreds of thousands. And so if institutions can't actually, you know, you see like Binance saying like, yeah, reward builders, like keep building. They could not care less about the builders. It doesn't even matter if the token has a team. It doesn't matter if it has a utility. If it is a scam and it gets volume and it gets them listings, they will list it. They do not care less about the utility. And it's all just noise. It's all just virtue signaling. And the problem is that retail come in, and what is their access route? They sign up to Coinbase or Binance. Binance, to get listed, you've got what's going on and everyone's seeing in the market now, 8% fees. So funnily enough, what they buy on Binance, Binance is immediately trading against them. 8% of that supply is owned by, you know, BNB holders. If we believe them, you know, just random holders on the exchange. It's still on the exchange, given away for free to get dumped on all of the new entrants. Or they're buying like what was trendy before, but is now, you know, when I first got into crypto, first thing I bought was XRP, XLM, Neo, Dash, all of these dinosaur coins, because that was all that was listed anywhere. And so some of them did okay, recovered. Other ones just slowly went to zero because, you know, those were the ones that were listed, but they were no longer, you know, relevant or innovative. They got taken over technologically. And therefore, I lost because I didn't have access to the stuff that was new. But if you want to go to the stuff that's new and not listed on these exchanges, then you've got to enter into the world of DEX tools and DEXs and Uniswap, and you're going to get scammed most likely. Like, it's so hard to get reliable information. Even if you, like, you can't even trust what you Google. Like, you'll get a sponsored ad for a scam. The amount of, on X, I will see literal, like, I've tried to advertise on X before. I can't get a single advert approved ever, and yet every other ad I see on X is a phishing scam. Yeah. Like, how does that even work? It's mental. Like, it's just, yeah, backdoors, corruption, just absolutely everywhere. And the problem is now it's literally, you know, from the US government as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Democrat. I would have voted Trump 24/7 over Kamala if I was a US citizen. But, you know, this stuff stems from the top, and it constantly gets, you know, legitimized. And the problem is that if you don't have integrity, if you don't have a strong moral character, and you try your hardest, you build, and the reward that you get is getting extorted by exchanges. If your token goes down for more than 5 minutes, you're treated as a scammer and harassed daily. And yet, if you do steal tons of money, what is the different treatment? You're still called a scammer. But if you do things right, you're still called a scammer. So therefore, unless you have a strong moral integrity and backbone, I can see why people stray, because they're not given any reward. If you don't pay for the listings, you don't get visibility. If you don't pay for the trending services, you don't get visibility. If you don't have a certain amount of Twitter followers, nobody wants 9,999. They want 10,000 because that's 10K. And just everything holds you back in terms of doing the right thing. It's so much harder to get ahead in a market where everybody takes shortcuts. And so until we start actually looking for people who work hard, do the right thing, visible, but the problem is we're all just chasing price. short-term price as well. Like, you know, we're all in this to make money. Like, this is our industry. I'm full-time crypto, and I need to make money in order to be full-time crypto. But it's just the short-term views that we take. And the problem is everything is telling us, look over here, look over there. In the normal world, you know, scams get pushed aside and you don't see them again. In crypto, they get out of prison, they come back and launch a new coin. And we buy it. We literally buy it and send it to hundreds of millions. And there is, like, for every one scammer who does this, that we get to hundreds of millions of market cap, we let thousands of well-intentioned devs fail because we don't buy their tokens, because we don't believe in them. We would rather chase hype and attention markets at all cost, no matter why the attention is there. And so, yeah, it's not... God, I was a stockbroker, for God's sake. I was supposed to be in the most toxic industry in the world before this. That, absolutely nothing. That is literally like children's nursery compared to working in crypto, because you're just constantly just beat down by doing the right thing. That's the even worse part. Like, yeah, it's tough. And the problem is that your gateway into this world is still either, you know, buying tokens on exchanges that either only list after criteria is so high that, you know, they mark the top, or an exchange that not only usually marks the top, but also has 8% of supply to dump back on you. And again, if you go to like the international exchanges, you know, your KuCoins, your Gates, they don't have to abide by any sort of regulation, so they can trade against you. And they charge through the teeth, you know, 500,000 HTX, 650K KuCoin. And so that's everything that devs have to face. I don't know why people still beg for listings. Like, do people not realize yet that it's just, it's not worth it? Yeah, I don't know when we're going to hit the end of this cycle until we can find a positive break, something that people can actually believe in and reward for doing the right thing, that we get behind. I don't know when, like, you know, stuff like Constitution DAO, that was a nice solid project that people thought, yeah, let's buy the US Constitution. We haven't seen anything like that for ages. Like, that was like a good, well-intentioned project. Even though if it wasn't successful, you know, it was heartwarming. It broke the cycle, but yeah, I don't know when we're going to see something like that.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. I'm getting ready to start my space. We do a daily X space, you know, for 2 hours, and based on our conversation today, I'm going to do meme coins versus utility. I think it's the age-old debate, but I feel like it's educational. It brings up some really good points. By the way, Dom, if you want to join us over on X after the stream here, feel free, man, and come in. Sure. I'd love for you guys to come over and check us out. What's that?
Is it what time does it start? I've got a...
So it actually starts right now, like 9:30. I'm actually 2 minutes late, but I'm setting up the stream, and then my co-host will take it over.
Yeah, I got half an hour. I'll jump on.
Yeah, jump on, and we can keep the conversation rolling. I'd love to have you up on stage. But everybody listening on stream here, there is a link down below in the description for you guys to check this out. And again, this is ALVA Protocol just launching their new basket. Is live. It's essentially where you can create your own ETF and get rewarded. Super cool idea. Thanks for joining on the live stream, man. I'll see you over on X. I'm going to go ahead and start the space, and then we follow each other on X, right? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. You could just find me or the Crypto Breakfast Club, which is also in my description over here. And that goes for everybody listening. We'll go live with the X space momentarily here. I'll be live over there in a minute or two, and Dominic will come and join us over there. But really good conversation, man. Let's do it again sometime soon. And for right now, let's go chat over there.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. And come on over and join us at the Crypto Breakfast Club. Follow it on X. Follow me over there. We'll keep this conversation rolling over there. Appreciate you guys.